Hey guys, and welcome back in another story and another video. In today's story, I will let you know this story about this little girl named Estrella. And Estrella has a really interesting story that I'm going to let you know. And before I start telling you this story, please consider liking the video because this is my first story and I just want to know if people do like my stories, and also do subscribe for more stories. And if you don't like anything, please let me know what you don't like about the video so I can change it for a better content and better stories. And thank you, and let's start. So Estrella is a cute looking little girl who is living with her grandfather and his wife in the mountains of Switzerland. Estrella's father and mother died in an accident, but she still strives for a better life, and she is a really positive person with a really good heart and a pure white heart. But Estrella has some problems in her life, and those problems, one of them are that Estrella's financial income and just she is poor, and her grandfather is poor, and also she has problems with her grandfather's wife because she would always pick on her and just tell her mean things, and sometimes she beat her. Yes, what an evil person hitting a cute angel person like Estrella. So Estrella was studying, and one day she went to school. Estrella was loved by everyone, even she is young. Old people loved her because they knew that there is something special about this girl named Estrella. So one day she went to school, and her grandfather's wife didn't cook for her breakfast, and she went to school and she was really hungry, and she couldn't say anything because she is really sweet. She doesn't want to say anything that is negative, so she only says good things, and when she doesn't have anything good to say, she just doesn't say anything. And she was also wearing old clothes, and she was getting picked on by guys and by girls in the school, especially those bad bullies and bad guys and bad girls. They were telling her, "You are poor, look at your dirty clothes, your dirty shoes. Don't come to our school, it is only for people who are like us or clean." And since that day, Estrella started to cry so much and say, "God, please help me." And she was asking for God's help because that was too much for her, especially at her age. She is really still young. And she went back to home and told her grandfather everything, and her grandfather didn't want to cry, but he started tearing down a little bit because he wished if her parents were still alive so they could make for her a better life, give her just a better life in general. He said to Estrella, "I am so sorry, my dear. I wish I could work, but my health been declining lately and I couldn't, but I will try to borrow some money and go buy you some new shoes and just a new dress and new things." Estrella was so happy, but when her grandfather left to borrow some money from some of his friends, her grandfather's wife started to yell at her, telling her, "Why you want new clothes? You don't deserve them. You are just a dirty girl. Why you want new clothes? Wear the clothes that fit you and just that suit you, which are dirty clothes for dirty girl." And Estrella started crying again and just asking for help from someone, from God. Just she didn't know what to do, and she told her grandfather's wife some bad things because that was enough for Estrella. She just got really tired. She always picks on her. She always tell her those bad things. Estrella was just so pissed off and told her all these bad things and she hit her again. She just hit her really hard this time. Estrella started to cry and asked for help, and she said, I know my life is so hard right now, but I can't judge anything because I know good things are going to come. She is really a positive person. If just one of us been through all of this, I don't think he will have this positive attitude and all of this because it's just so hard to be an orphan and to live those hard financial like situations, and her grandfather's wife would always beat her and all of this. So Estrella just is a really good person, and she wants good for everyone, even the guys and the girls who pick at her at the school. She always tell them only good things. She had a really good heart. And after that, her grandfather came home and told Estrella, let's go buy you some new shoes and new clothes so you can go to school without getting picked on and bullied and all of that. Estrella was really happy, and she looks at her grandfather's wife, and she looked at her and she was so pissed off, the grandfather's wife, and she was so jealous because Estrella was going to buy some new clothes and new shoes, and she is going to go to school without getting picked on this time. And that's what happened. They went to the store who sells like the shoes and bought her some really nice shoes in the village, and she went with her grandfather to eat something out, and they went to buy something like clothes, a robe or anything, and after that they went to eat something and just have fun again and just live a good life. And that's exactly what happened. That day was so good for Estrella, and she had so much fun. She went back home and she found that her grandfather's wife already slept without cooking for them anything. But luckily, Estrella and her grandfather ate something out, so they wasn't really hungry. That day, Estrella slept, and she woke up the day after, and she wore her new shoes and new clothes, and she was really happy, and she brushed her hair. She looked really good and cute, and she went to school, and she studied that day and learned a lot of things on school without getting picked on from anyone because she was looking good and she was wearing some new shoes, and she didn't look poor for them, even though poor don't mean bad. Bad is evil. A lot of people can be poor but have good hearts and positive vibes, just like Estrella. And she studied a lot, and she went back home and she went out to play with her friends in the village, and they were playing. And Estrella saw some women there selling bread and pastries, and she really liked that because she knows how to cook those things, and asked one of her friends, do women make money for that, like these women who are selling all of that breads and cookies and pastries? And they told her yes, they are. And so Estrella told them that she wished she could sell cookies and breads and pastries to help her grandfather. Even if she is really young, she really wanted to do a lot of things. And she went home and she found again no food and only little food left. She ate that, and she told her she wants to start selling those things and just don't study because that doesn't bring them any money. Her grandfather got really mad and angry at her for the first time ever because he just couldn't accept the fact that Estrella will drop out from school. He didn't really like that, and she felt bad for making her grandfather really angry because she loved him so much and he loved her so much. And she told him that she is really sorry. She will never say or repeat that again. She didn't mean that, and she only meant that she wants to help him financially, but she didn't know that was going to make her grandfather angry. And he told her, Estrella, it's okay, but please don't think about that again. I'm alive and I can get you the things that you want. I know I don't get you all of the things, but I am sorry. I wish I could. And Estrella was really sad because those words from her grandfather were really out from the heart. And she went to her room, and just a small room because they were poor. They didn't have a large or a big house because they just couldn't afford and buy it. She went to her room and she picked a picture of her parents, and she was looking at that, and she cried because she said, I wish you were alive. I don't have to go through all of this, but I know the good things will come. And that's exactly what was going to happen. And Estrella was really sure that something was going to happen in her life. And she woke up again and she went to school. But this time they picked on her, even if she was wearing nice clothes, but they just wanted to bully Estrella because they just couldn't accept the fact that she was really positive. She was always smiling, and those mean guys and girls were always angry and not happy and just really have bad hearts. Not like Estrella, they pick on her because they know that she has a really good heart. Since that day, she promised that she will never go again to school. She didn't tell that to her grandfather because she knew that he was going to be really angry. So she didn't tell him that. But at the same time, she didn't go to school, and she would just grab her backpack and just go and play with a guy who was her friend and some other friends, with Timmy. They would just play together and just have fun and don't go to school because Timmy didn't go to school, so he can stay in the home and protect his family. And that's what was happening. Estrella would go all the days with Timmy and play with him and her friends, but don't go to school. And that's what was happening. And one day she sat down, Estrella, and with Timmy, and she asked him, do you think like the good things will come after the bad things? Timmy said, of course, I do believe in that. It's just life don't give you what you want, but it will give you what you want, but not at the time that you want. So just be patient. And that's exactly what those words exactly were the words that really healed Estrella's pain. And she went home. But this time her grandfather was really, really angry, and he told her that he knew that she wasn't going to school, and she was just really crying, and she told him, I'm so sorry. I know I didn't want to hurt you. My grandfather, you are my everything, but at school they pick on me and all of this. And he told her, that is okay, my sweet little daughter. I know things are going really hard for you at school, so you can stay at home and don't go there. I can teach you at home the good things. They might not get you some things financially, but they will make you a better person in life. Estrella asked her grandfather if she can cook the cookies and pastries and starts to sell them. And he told her, of course, my dear. And her grandfather's wife was listening, and she was really pissed off because she would use all of their flour, their sugar, and their vanillas and their fruits so she can sell them. And she told Estrella that she will not pick anything from her kitchen. That's exactly what Estrella did. And she told her grandfather's wife, please just let me pick some ingredients so I can make some good cookies and I will give you the money. The grandfather's wife didn't want, but her grandfather heard everything and told his wife she can pick whatever she wants. That's her house and that's my house, and it's me who buy those ingredients, not you. She is still a little girl. Let her live her life and let her be happy. And that's exactly. Estrella started to make those really beautiful cookies and delicious pastries and breads. And she went to the village and she started to sell them there. and everyone would buy from Estrella cookies and everything. But when she comes back home, she faces a problem, which is her grandfather's wife, who would steal some of her money, and she told her that she would hurt Estrella, the cute little soul, if she said everything to her grandfather. Estrella was really scared and she didn't say anything. And since that day, everything Estrella sells, her grandfather's wife takes everything and doesn't leave anything for her except some little bit of change so she can help her grandfather. Estrella was scared. She couldn't say anything. And one day she went to sell the cookies and pastries and she came back home. And her grandfather saw everything and he was really pissed off at his wife and told her that he is going to kick her out of the house if she did anything like that again. And she promised him. She was so scared. She doesn't have anywhere to go. And she said, I will not do anything bad to her anymore. And that's exactly what happened. And Estrella, the other next day, she went and to sell her cookies and pastries. And one guy came at Estrella and told her, I really have no money. I am so hungry. Please, can you give me something to eat? And Estrella was really sad because that guy was really hungry, and she gave him some piece of bread and cheese and also gave him some cookies and smiled at him. And that happened, and someone next to them saw that, and that person was the prince of the whole village, and he was still young, just like Estrella. And he told his father, the king of the village, that he really likes what that girl did and she really has a good heart and good soul, and that's the type of the girl that he wants to be with when he grows up. And the king started to smile, and Estrella didn't know all of this, so everything was going good for Estrella in her business of pastries and cookies. But when she came back home, she found that her grandfather was really sick, just sick this time more than every time before. He was really sick. He couldn't even get up to drink or eat. Estrella was really sad and she started to cry and ask for help again, crying, and she was really sad. After a week, her grandfather told her that he really loves her, and he was really sick and stuttering because he couldn't do or say anything. She went to sell the cookies again, and when she came back home, she found that her grandfather died, and she was so sad and so crying because her father died, her mother died, and now her grandfather, the only person that loves her, and her grandfather's wife will do bad things to her. Estrella was really sad and she just didn't know what to do at this time. And that's everything that happened to Estrella in her life. And after years, Estrella is still selling the cookies and the pastries at the same place so she can make money for her and her grandfather's wife also, even if she still talked to her bad and just hit her. And she promised her grandfather that she would never hit her or hurt her. She did that because he wasn't there. Estrella just was selling the cookies, and the tall, handsome guy approached Estrella, and she was older than how old she was before, because this happened after years from her grandfather's death. And he told her, can he eat some cookies for free because he is hungry? And she told him, of course. She gave him the cookies and smiled at him. And the tall, handsome guy was the prince because he just couldn't forget what Estrella did to that guy. Was the prince of the village, and he told her that she is a really nice person and he just wanted to try if she is still nice. And he gave her a lot of money for those cookies, and she told him, no, you can pay me just the money that's enough, like just the right amount, don't add anything from you. He said, no, you really deserve this. And Estrella started to sell the cookies again and again, and one another day he visited her again, and he told her, can she go with him and just talk and all of that. And he took her to their palace, and she told him that she wants to ride a horse, and that's exactly what she did, but she fell off because she didn't know a lot about those things. And when she came back home, she was really, really happy. Her grandfather's wife wasn't really happy with that, and she told her that she is a scandalous girl, even if Estrella didn't do anything wrong. And she told her that she is making their reputation bad. And she kicked Estrella out of the house. And it was raining, and it was really cold. Estrella didn't know what to do. She went to the place where she sells the cookies again, and she found the prince again, and she told him about everything. And the prince told Estrella that she can live with him in his palace, and she didn't want to because she can't live with strangers, like they are not married or anything. And the prince told her that he really loves her from the first day that he ever saw her, and he told her, can she marry him? She was really, really happy, and she said yes. And they got married together, but they didn't have any kids, and that was a sad part of Estrella. But she adopted a kid after that, and she was really happy. She was having a really good life with her new wealth, new money, and new husband, and just new lifestyle. She was really happy, and she went back to the same place that she used to sell the cookie in. And Estrella saw a woman that looked familiar to her, and because her face was really dirty, the woman, she couldn't tell. And when she got up close, she was with her husband Estrella, the prince of the village, and the woman was her grandfather's wife, because she got kicked out of the house because she couldn't pay anything, no bills, no taxes, no nothing, and she got kicked out of the house, and she is a homeless now. Her grandfather's wife was really, really scared and told Estrella, please Estrella, I know I did really bad things to you. I really didn't mean to do those bad things. Please forgive me. Don't put me in jail. I know now you have the power, you have the legacy, you have everything. Please don't hurt me. I know I've been bad. And Estrella looked at her grandfather's wife and wiped her tears, and she told her, I will not hurt you, I promise, because Estrella has a good soul. Even the people who hurt her, she can't hurt them. And her grandfather's wife started to cry a lot because she knew she did a lot of wrong things with Estrella. Estrella didn't deserve all of those bad things, and Estrella actually didn't just not hurt her or do anything bad to her, but she actually helped her and bought her a new house and bought her new clothes and gave her money each month so she can live and she can buy everything that she wants. So the moral of this story is that don't hurt anyone, even if he does something bad to you or did something bad to you, and always be positive that good things are going to come. And that's exactly what happened with Estrella. She lived a lot of hard times, but now she is having a good life, and not just a good life but the best life with her husband, even if she doesn't have kids, and she doesn't like that she doesn't have kids, but she has that kid that she adopted, and he is just like her kid, and she loves him so much, and she loves her husband, family, and life. And this is the end of the story. I hope that you like it. Please, if you liked it, subscribe and like this video, and see you in the next story.